Yeah. Open up your mouth wide and shout, I ain't never scared, I'm about mine, I'm outside, yeah. Cause we ain't hard to find. We outside. We ain't hard to find. We outside. We ain't hard to find. Logo on my chest like what it do. We them followers of Christ, homie, what are you? And we ain't hard to find, dude. Look around, you gon' see the whole squad outside, boots to the ground. It's chill when we're diligent and militant. If there's 100 of us, one gorilla is just still equipped. Somebody go tell Noah to build a ship, cause the animals are here, it's enough to fill it with. Yeah, the sword of the spirit is sharp on both sides, so I keep it close by to sever a soul tie. I'm faithful and then got both eyes closed. Why? Cause the Holy Ghost guides, I'm ditching his boat ride. Big stepping on the water, I am Peter like. But the way I cast the net is still going to beat it right. If this the body with the hands and feet of Christ, outside in the soil trying to plant a seed of life. We outside. We ain't hard to find. We outside. We ain't hard to find. Hey man, he turned me up, Tab, let me cook. It's God over money, yeah. Man, it's gang. Open up your mouth. Yo, who do they think we are? They think we scared? I'm outside and I don't see you nowhere. You scared, son. Hey, 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 we outside. We ain't hard to find. We outside. Until he comes, I be raising his banner, raising his standards, dying daily, trying to behave in a manner that is worthy of the call. By his grace, we will stand up and spread the good news until they understand us. I know the haters for it, but we're made for the slander. And if they persecute us, we will take what they hand us. I think about the saints that were placed in the slammer and the martyrs that were murdered as they taped it on camera. Their blood is what I use to paint on this canvas. If they were bold, I'll accept my fate like a man does and praise with my hands up. They think we're scared, so let's put an axe to that cat like the Braves in Atlanta. Outside the church, trying to be the salt and light of earth. Just a Bible verse can bring hope to a violent turf. Yes. We're bulldozing altars where they have idols perked, and we're flipping tables where these wolves may be by their murder. We outside. We ain't hard to find. We outside. We ain't hard to find.
Y'all know what it is, man. Welcome to episode number 10. So good evening, family. I am your boy, Joe Boss, and you are tuned in to Joe Boss Radio. And tonight on episode 10, we're calling this one Keep Hope Alive, Legacy, Leadership, and Love. All right? So tonight we're going to be honoring the life and legacy of Reverend Jesse Jackson, a man who reminded a generation to keep hope alive, right? That's literally was one of his taglines, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what leadership looks like in public. We're going to talk about what legacy really means as men. And because it's Love Month, my wife may or may not be joining me later to talk about leadership in marriage. I know that's going to be a good one, right? And what it actually takes to build something that lasts. So if you care about legacy, if you care about leadership, if you care about love that stands the test of time, you are in the right place. All right. I'm telling y'all, you're in the right place. This is where you need to be. We're going to have a lot of fun with it too. Trust me when I tell you. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Jesse Jackson. All right. And listen, let me know where y'all logging in from in the comments before I jump right into this. I need to know what city is represented Because listen, when we use these different apps, I can't really see you unless you actually talk back. And the way you talk back is in the comments. Right? That's how we're going to make this rock with y'all. All right. We're going to make this work just like this because I need the love. I need to know y'all here with me and y'all are rocking with me. Right? Because that's how we do it. That's exactly how we do. So, yeah. So yeah, back to what I was saying to you before, though. With Jesse Jackson, his whole leadership style was just amazing, right? So let's jump into it, right? We want to pause tonight and we're going to acknowledge the life of Reverend Jesse Jackson, right? Because a lot of misclaimers that have been out there is that he only spoke for Black America, when the truth is he actually expanded opportunity for all of America. When he pushed for voter registration, democracy expanded. When he fought for economic access, listen, small businesses benefited. That's the truth. When he built coalitions, he showed that progress isn't for one group, and it's not. It's for everybody. That's his legacy. That's the type of thing that Jesse Jackson did, right? He popularized the phrase, keep hope alive, because it's such a powerful thing. But see, hope wasn't just an emotion for him. Hope was strategy. Hope was organization. Hope was discipline, right? And here's what I want us to understand tonight, right? When one community advances, the entire country benefits. That's leadership, that's legacy. If you believe real leadership benefits more than just one group, I need y'all to type legacy in the comments. All right. Type that in the comments so that you can, share with everybody and let people know. Listen, if you are live watching with us, do me a favor, right? And I'm going to post this. I need y'all to jump into the comments to like, subscribe, and share. But I also need y'all to actually share this on your timeline, right? That's all you got to do. That's all you have to do. It sounds harder than what it is, but guess what? It's really not that hard. It just takes a little bit of effort for y'all to continue to rock with me. All right, just a little bit of effort. So let's do that, right? Let's continue to do that, so we can advance Joe Boss Radio, right? Because like I said, episode 10, this is the Keep Hope Alive episode. So yeah, that's how we rocking with it, and that's as some of my boys used to say, that's how we giving it up. All right. So listen, make sure y'all are doing that. It doesn't cost you a dime to like, subscribe, and share, but it means everything to us content creators as we push these different things out, as we get on these stages and on these platforms to bring content. Listen, it takes time, it takes effort, and it takes a lot. And I will be bringing my wife on to the show here in just a few minutes because I know she's got a lot to say in a good way. She's got a lot of things that she's going to be doing, and she's going to be just really talking about the love month. And yeah, we reckon. So big shout to Yvonne Scott all the way from NC. I think she's in Greensboro. Big shout to her. Thank you for tuning in. That's my auntie, y'all. That's like auntie's sister. You know what I mean? She's technically my aunt, but we were more raised like brother and sister. So big shout to my big sis auntie. Right? Share this on your timeline. Share this with your friend groups. Listen, I'm gonna post something in the chat that I want y'all to do. All y'all got to do is copy and paste this and send it out to your friend group. Send it out to your text group. Send it out to your chat groups, right? Because we're trying to build an audience to bring y'all some positive, inspirational media onto this platform and out in the world. Because listen, there's a lot of trash out there. Y'all know what it's out. Y'all know what it's like out here in these social media streets. And we're trying to do it a little different. That's literally all we're trying to do, is do things a little bit different. All right. And listen, if you can rock with being a little bit different, hey, continue to rock with me, please. So let me just continue on. I want to give you something to talk a little bit more about Jesse, right? So if you believe in real leadership, right? If you believe that just that benefits leadership benefits more than just one group, type the word legacy in the comments, right? And I'm gonna talk about manhood, right? Because this is some of the things that just what I've learned in reading about Jesse Jackson and how it really transitions into being a noble man. You see, when a man fights publicly for justice, that's leadership. But when a man builds systems that outlive him, that's legacy. And that brings me to the Noble Man. As you guys know, I'm working on a book called The Noble Man that I'm going to be releasing later this year. And what I've learned is that there's two types of men. There are men who consume and there are men who contribute. So the noble man understands that legacy is not what you leave behind when you die, it's what you build while you're alive. So Reverend Jesse Jackson, he didn't just build speeches. Nah, he did a lot more than that. He built pipelines, right? He built access. He built doors. And a noble man doesn't just chase success. What he does is he widens the doorway so others can walk through it, right? Sometimes you got to be the trailblazer in your family. Sometimes you got to be the trailblazer in your church, in your community, in your friend group. You know what I mean? In your chat. Sometimes you got to be the one to open the door so that those can come behind you. So here's the question that I'm going to ask y'all tonight, right? And I'm talking to the men. Are we building something that only benefits us? Or are we building something that outlives us, right? Because legacy is not one of those things that's loud. If you watch TV, legacy, when they talk about legacy on TV, legacy, they make it seem like it's something loud, right? But really, what legacy is, it's consistent. It's disciplined. It's sacrificial. And here's the key. Love is always tied to legacy because what you build at home determines what you sustain in public. So if you believe discipline is more important than hype, type discipline in the chat. I need y'all to be interactive with me, right? I need y'all to let me know how you feel about what I'm saying and if you guys are really understand and rock with the knowledge that I'm dropping to you, man. Because listen, you know, some pastors might say, listen, I'm preaching better than you listening. Right? I'm dropping more knowledge better than y'all listening right now. So listen, we're going to transition into the love month, and I'm going to bring to the stage my better half, Mrs. Natalie Scott, aka Mrs. Nat Virtue. How are you doing today, love? How you doing?
What's up, Joe Bizzle? Boss man. The reason why I am Mrs. Scott.
Yes.
Going on.
How are you? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited because this is the first time that I've had you on Joe Boss Radio. You know, you've been rocking with me ever since we had Rise Up and all the other projects, but this is the first time I'm doing a solo show by Dolo for Solo, and you rocking with me here. So it's amazing to have you here.
I'm so proud of you. I'm proud that you have but it's Love Month, so I'm proud that you have stepped back into something you love, a ministry you love, a project you love. It has been your heart. You've talked about the times in which you were in the Hofstra days on the radio, and just you sharing your love and just listening backstage in regards to the Noble Man and Jesse Jackson. Keep hope alive. You kept the hope alive, and look at you, Bizzle, Joe Bizzle. Oh, proud.
Thank you. I appreciate that means a lot, especially coming from the one I love the most. So
The, and the legend.
but listen, let's get this conversation going because I feel like this is one of those conversations I think people want to hear about because they want to hear from an actual married couple. We've been together 15 years. Um, I know, right? Been together 15 years, have been married 12, almost 13 years coming up this May. Man, that's
That's
a long time, right?
Can I tell you how old I felt today? I have a story.
Okay, okay.
So today I was teaching some kids, and
Hmm.
the kid said, "Oh yeah, I was born in 2011." I was like, "Wait a minute, that's the same year that I met my husband." Like what?
Ooh,
2011? I was like, "What
ooh.
old y'all?" Oh, that thing made me feel like ancient. I felt like dust,
Listen, I'm
not
telling
baby
you,
powder, dust.
man, I was at the barber shop earlier and it was like they had a section in the barber shop and they called it D block, which is hilarious to me, but they called it D block, right? I guess it's for the people who've been there for a while, right? So I said, okay, y'all got this from the locks. I need to put pictures of the locks up in here. I said, just like that song D Block. And the guy was like, I don't know that song. I said, what you mean you don't know that song? He was like, I don't know. I said, bruh. So I played it for him. He was like, oh, nah, I never heard this. He's like, yeah, I grew up listening to Lil Boozy and some other people. I was like, okay, yeah,
Yo, how does
you are
it
not you are
feel?
not my generation.
No, how does it feel that we are now starting to quote unquote uh a different age? Like that's crazy to me. I was like,
Man,
ooh.
that's that's a whole nother thing when you really think about it. Like, so let's talk about that, right? So the idea of this show is we're talking about legacy, leadership, and love, right? So when you hear the words legacy and leadership, what do they mean to you in the context of marriage?
Well, in the context of marriage, I think of marriage and parenthood, right? Like leaving an inheritance, which is like your legacy, and like for like the things that you're doing with like financial planning, just some of the things that we've been working on as a team. And that's the biggest thing is what we're doing is leaving a legacy for our child and her children, right? So it's just like being intentional in regard to the things that we're doing. So like for instance, what I love is that if Joe is on a call, he's talking about things that I'm working on and I'm talking about things that he's working on. I'm the one who plans the fun. He's the one that plans things that if the fun turns left. So for the rainy day. So I plan for the fun, plan for the future. So it's just like that is leaving a legacy in regards
Yeah.
to, it's like collaboration. Like that's
Mm,
thing that I think we're now at this 15-year mark, and
yeah.
our date was Valentine's Day. That's a whole nother story. We should get
We're gonna,
into.
we're gonna get into that in a little bit. They need to hear that. Yeah. Go ahead.
But what I love is that we've now gotten into a groove that we're now really collaborating together. Like
Yeah.
some with love and real life, right? Um, you will get into a place in which you're like, okay, we really got to work fully together. Like we have to, like we're now entering into now what 3 years in a different state, and
Yeah.
we rely on each other. And
Yeah, for sure.
yes, so that is loving, right? Good, bad, indifferent. Is really getting into loving And then what I love is because it's just the three of us, is you, myself, and Naya, she gets to see like a front row picture of how we deal with love, and
Mm-hmm.
just deal with like different things that we've never had to face before. So,
Mm.
that is showing your child. And can I be honest with you? I don't know why I got going here, but there have been people that says, I never saw my mother and my father fight. Can I
God
be
bless them.
talk to me?
God bless them.
Can I be well, let me say this. Like, I guess it's a different generation, but
Yeah.
it's like if your child doesn't see how you deal with conflict, how are they going to deal with their conflict? That's legal.
Right.
Right. I'm not saying that you fight dirty. You fight
Mm-hmm.
like, because you are human, you may get into a disagreement, right? But it's just like, how do you deal with that disagreement? And then how you show how you are able to communicate. That's how they're communicating. Like, for instance, our child,
Mm-hmm.
that girl communicates.
For
She's
sure. She's definitely a good communicator.
correct, because she sees that, okay, if mommy and daddy are having a discussion, then I'm able to express myself and speak up for myself, but also I'm safe. That's a key word. With communication, I'm safe enough to voice my thoughts, even as a 7-year-old.
Right. Yeah.
So in a marriage, it's okay to let your children in to some of your conversations so they understand what it is to be an effective communicator.
Mm.
Down is because they never were able to see a healthy communication. And a healthy communication and a healthy and happy child is a prosperous child, a prosperous adult.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the truth. Woo. You dropped some nuggets right there. Woo. Listen, I got to get some sound effects for next week because I'm going to have to start dropping a bomb like this is a Funk Flex episode because that was a woo moment right there. Woo.
To your
I
audience,
love that.
like to your audience, like how do you feel about like just what I said in regards to, like, for instance, um were you the type that never saw your parents in a disagreement, or if you did, how did they handle it and how did it affect you? So like that's one of those aspects in which, we have to be able to fight fair. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When the world is fighting dirty, how are you fighting fair? How are you showing in a marriage how you come together? Like,
Mm.
how can I say this? How are you showing your children how to budget in regards to even going to the grocery store? Are
Talk
you
about it.
are you showing your child what it means to say no? Like, I don't know why I gotta share this today. We just having real talk, right? I know this
Yeah.
is your platform, Joe Boss.
Yeah.
Uh, but I remember there was a point in which I just wanted to spoil my child, spoil her,
Yeah.
spoil her, spoil her, spoil her, spoil her, spoil her. And she got everything that she wanted and needed. It's not even just needed, it was more of want. Whatever she wanted, she got. And then it
Yeah.
came to a point where it's just like, ooh, you getting spoiled.
Mm. You were
So
like you were doing too much.
yes. And I think that comes from a place of overcompensating because you didn't have it like all right. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
that I came from a place in which I didn't get I did I got a lot, but there's this aspect in which there's an aspect of you can love someone, but when it gets to a place when you're burning up, right, and you're giving more than what you really are, it puts you in a disadvantage, and it also puts you in a place of debt.
Mm. You know what? There's a saying that I read in the book, and I'll remember the name of the book. in a little bit. But the saying goes that strong parents create weak children because they're overcompensating from having weak parents.
That's
So,
interesting.
and I'm not saying, not to say that the parents are weak. Let me explain that a little deeper, right? Because I don't want somebody to get offended. What it means is that when you're a strong person, a lot of times you've had to become strong because of something that you didn't have, right? And I know for, in my own life, there are things that I have intentionally worked on to be strong at because these are things that were taught to me as a young child, and I've had to learn them as an adult, right? Like how you just mentioned, you were really adamant about getting our daughter certain things because you didn't have them as a child, right? But what if you overdo it, and you're not doing anything wrong, but if you overdo it, right? And not you in personally, this is the example. If you overdo it, what happens is your children become spoiled and they feel like they don't have to work hard for certain things, right? And them being spoiled will transitioning into making them quote unquote not as strong as they should be, or the other term for that is weak, right? And what happens is when they raise their children will have to become strong because their parents weren't strong enough. It's basically like it can be a cycle if you don't teach your children with intention.
Okay.
Because you can overcompensate for something with the right intention, but going about it the wrong way. So I love how you brought that up. Like you're helping Naya to learn and have things that we didn't have as children. Like you and I didn't grow up with the level of technology that's available to children now, right? And I'm glad that we've been able to teach Naya technology and how to use a tablet and different things at a very young age. But what we also learned is that we have to limit it too, because then she'll become too dependent on it and she'll end up with a short attention span, right? Or she won't want to read because she feel like, oh, she can just play a video on YouTube as opposed to actually reading, right? And us, I think that we've done a great job at being intentional about limiting certain access so that that doesn't happen. Does that make sense?
It's this generation has become the microwave generation.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's just like, because this generation is, because it's very technology based, it's like, give me the information now. I need it now. This is what I need. And like just thinking about in regards to like leadership, you have to share with your children. And I know like I share it with our child, is that you can't get things instantaneously. You can't get it now. You have to have more patience. Like the whole aspect of love is patient, love is kind. Like that is in regards to like, you got to hold up. And not to be funny, like I don't know, something about after 40 years old where I'm just like, this brain don't work as quick as it used to anymore.
Yeah.
Slow it down a little bit, because I just can't process as quickly as I used to. Girl, if you don't slow it down and go sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
But this generation is very much the microwave generation. And you just have to say, like, you cannot get things so instantly, because if I give you everything when you want it, how you want it, I'm not showing you love. I'm showing you codependency.
I love that. All right. So I want to transition a little bit because, as I announced earlier in the show, this week we lost a great man in the late Reverend Jesse Jackson. And what question that I wanted to propose to you is, what does one of his catchphrases was keeping hope alive, right? What does keeping hope alive look like inside of a marriage?
That's a good good question.
Yeah,
When I think about just keeping hope alive, is that even in dark days. So we gonna be honest today. We gonna talk.
we talking. We talking.
Not everything is going to be sunny. Like, let's keep it real. Let's keep it honest, right? There are times in which every marriage goes through different seasons. Some
Yes.
seasons are hot. Everything's hot. That's normally like when you just got married and you in your honeymoon stage,
That's
everything
when it's spicy.
spicy. Yes, you took the words out my mouth.
Yeah.
Spicy. Like, yes, I have a license to drive. I don't got the permit, which is the
Listen, I
but I
got a
got
license to drive.
it's on fire, right? But then after the summer months, it's fall, where things are just settling in.
Mm-hmm.
There is the weather is changing. You may have gotten, a unexpected bill, or you may have gotten an unexpected news. Something starts to shift a bit. Not saying that there isn't heat. There still is heat, and the seasons may be a couple of years. It could be years. You could have the summertime for a long time, and then fall hits. But everyone will go through a fall. And then there's winter.
Mm,
There is every place will go through a winter season
that's
where,
it.
where there is an aspect where it's just like, I love you, but I may not like you. Like,
Talk about it.
or
I
there
love you to death, but right now I am not feeling you.
yes, or you may be a caregiver. Your relationship now turns into like caregiving, or you may have to caregive to your parents, right? Or something like bad happens in
Yeah.
regard to like relationships. You lose your jobs and so forth. And child, Lord, we know, right?
Yeah.
There's aspect where it's just like, okay, all right, God.
Like, okay, God, I know you're trying to teach us a lesson, and I think we learned it. We tried to learn as quick as we can. Can we go on to the next chapter?
Correct. But there will be a place in which things may dry up, or you go through something traumatic, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it will test your relationship in ways in which you're like, oh, I didn't sign up for this. But then,
Talk about it.
but then if you think about even winter, underneath every plant, there's a seed that is in sleep mode until the weather starts shifting, and then
Yeah.
you seeing growth starting to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's spring
It's
and things
hibernation.
springing up, right? So it's just like, honestly, sometimes in a winter month, or before that winter month happens, or winter season, there is things that needs to be uh done in the foundation. Because
Mm.
when the spring months happen, and you did not change the foundation, or you didn't change the soil, then there's no growth.
I love that. I love that. That's how you keep hope
Think
alive.
hope alive is that in every season of every relationship, of every marriage, you have to have hope that if the seasons change, will you be able to acclimate yourself, or be able to go forth in the change?
I love
That's
that.
hope. That's
That's hope.
hope. The hope is that no matter what changes, no matter what comes our way, are we able to stay committed to our vows?
Love it.
Hope.
I love it. Listen, this is what I want y'all to do in the chat. If y'all have some questions, right, I need y'all to type them in the comments so that we can, try to answer them. Of course, we got, well, no, I'm not going to use titles right now. But if you got some questions in the chat, please type them in. Let us know how you feel about it. what you want to know. Because I lined up some good questions to keep the conversations going. So let's move on to the next question, right? When things get stressed, right? Money, parenting, life in general, what protects our connection?
It's been prayer. Can I just be
Mm,
real honest with you?
yeah, yeah,
And I spoke about this a bit earlier today, but
yeah,
it has been prayer. And also, can I say this?
yeah.
It's an acronym. And for every marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh MYOB.
MYOB.
Yes, MYOB. You're going to have to let people mind your own business
I know that's
or
right.
mind their own business.
Yeah.
When things get stressful, money, parenting, life, and so forth, if
Health.
you health, you've been through all of it, right? What protects our connection is prayer and learning for individuals to mind their own business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I say
Definitely.
mind your own business, it's more of there's only but so much that advice can give, and you got to turn to God.
You have to. You have to lean on God so many ways. I know you put me onto this comedian the other night. Actually, on Valentine's Day, we watched the comedian. I can't think of his name right now.
Wiley.
What was his name?
Marcus D. Wiley.
Marcus D. Wiley, right? He has a special, and I listen. I listen. We don't get no credit for promoting this, but I suggest you watch this special because not only is it hilarious, he actually gave some really great marriage advice as in a comedic way. And one of the things he said was that, listen, some of you already have prerequisites to marriage. 3 strikes and you out. If that's the case, he said, if that was the case, he said, I'd have been out of marriage my first year. He was like, because I know I messed up 3 times. I might have messed up 3 times this week. So if you a person that says 3 strikes you're out, marriage may not be for you, right? Because Jesus says when the man asked him how many times we should we forgive 7 times? He said, no, forgive 70 times 7, right? And when I read that scripture, the way I look at it is I don't think he meant that in the literal sense. I believe he meant it in the sense of just continue to forgive and don't try to keep count because you too will need forgiveness. So in a marriage, in a friendship, in a relationship, at some point, the person that's close to you is going to disappoint you in some way, fashion, or another, right? Because we're human, right? Humans make mistakes. Humans say things they shouldn't say, do things they shouldn't do, right? But the forgiveness aspect of it is really, in my mind, it's really one of the greatest things that you can show somebody else's forgiveness, because the forgiveness really isn't for them, it's for you so that you can heal, but it also gives them an opportunity to now feel the love of God through you. Because as sinners, we don't deserve forgiveness, but God sent his son so that we can be forgiven for anything. So if God can forgive us for anything, right? And we as followers of Christ try to walk in his image, we also have to practice forgiveness, right? And that's, for me, that's one of the things that protects any connection that you have. Again, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. We are talking about that, of course, but I'm talking about friendships, right? I'm talking about maybe co-workers, right? Sometimes people will do things that frustrate you or hurt you. Forgive them, right? I ain't saying you got to forget and just let it go, but forgive them so that you can move on and that you can heal. And you look like you have some more that you want to say about this, Nat.
Because
Okay.
I agree with you in regards to the forgiveness, but
Mm-hmm.
also an access there is also the access that you once had, right? So, like, for instance, although you're forgiving them to free you, and I agree with that, there's also times in which the dynamic has shifted,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when you ask a question in regards to what protects connection, it's also understanding that I forgave, but that does not mean that you have that what was once is not the same. The dynamic has shifted.
Yeah.
And there comes a place in which there is another level of understanding. There's another level of learning and like unlearning. And I think that's like one of your questions that you have.
Yes. That's my next question.
There's a level, and I guess I can get right into it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
There's a level of like unlearning. So like when you talk about like forgiveness, there is an aspect in which you have to unlearn the things in which you may have learned on your own, learned through influence. And can I be honest? You are influenced by what you eat, by what you take in with TV, by your family, by
All of that.
even yourself, right?
Yeah.
In order for things to change, it has to change up here first.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a mindset issue. It is one of the things that like I had to unlearn in regards to like love, is the aspect in which and just being honest, like just being like truthfully honest, is the aspect that my relationship can be successful.
Mm.
Like for anyone who has been like in a single parent household or been in a broken relationship, been in
Yes.
broken relationships, may not have seen, you know, a husband and wife and so forth. Like for me, I'm a part of a single parent household. I know Joe was as well. But before I got married to him, I'm like, is it gonna work? I had like this anxiety. Oh, you know, this is something new, you know,
Yeah.
work. What you know, is he gonna do this? Is he gonna do that? You know, and there's this notion from the generations before us is that, you know, he ain't no good, he never gonna be no good. He's and I'm not saying that this is the case, but this is just what is even on TV or even on like some of the stuff that we watch,
Yeah.
especially way back when, was
Yeah.
the aspect of not being true. So it's
Mm.
like no man is ever true, or all she want is a gold digger. So you
Hmm.
unlearn
Yeah.
the,
Not everybody's like that. Right.
the narrative. You have to unlearn the narrative. You have to unlearn the aspect of not everyone is like that. Not everyone
Right.
like what you may have seen or what you may have experienced. God can have someone tailor made for you. And if they do mess up, but they show you that there is a change, you have to be able to say, you know what? I see a change and I'm making it within myself to move forward. Like I have to unlearn who I was before or what even our relationship was before because this is something new.
Yeah. It's a rebirth. It
Correct.
could be a rebirth, right? And that's part of the healing process, right? Which is it's an amazing thing. So listen, let's take a quick break. I have we've got to pay our sponsors. And here's a quick PSA. Your job's life insurance may not follow you if you leave work. I've got life insurance through work. I'm good, right? But most employer policies don't travel when you change jobs, and the coverage amounts can be limited. So if I get laid off, that coverage could disappear? Exactly. That's why many families add a personal policy that stays with you no matter where you work. But isn't that expensive? Not necessarily. When you're younger and healthier, you can lock in lower rates. We can offer tailor coverage to your budget. What if I already have coverage at work? Keep it and layer your own policy for portable protection. Think job benefits plus personal safety net. Want a quick options review? Comment life in the comments, and we can set up a time to go over your options. All right. That was a quick PSA from our sponsor, Rise Up Financial Agency. I'm going to post a link where you can contact them so you can discuss some financial planning. We can help you with life insurance, Medicare, retirement planning. We even have connections now where we can help you with your auto and home insurance, and we can help you with your taxes. Yes, we are a one-stop shop to help you with any and everything on the financial sector. All right. So let's get back to it.
Listen, support. We need you to support. Hello.
That's it. So now some of the things that you kind of tapped into, and I want to summarize it for all the listeners who may just have tuned in. You didn't just drop a dimes, right? You dropped a whole bag of nickels. Like you was just not playing just a minute ago, right? But to summarize some of the things you said is that one, you forgive, but because now that the relationship has changed in a certain way, you have to set boundaries, right? And the boundaries aren't meant for, say, if you cross this, it's going to be a problem. What you're saying is you're setting up healthy restrictions to protect yourself, right? You're setting up healthy ways to say, look, this can't happen like this no more, or this isn't going to work, right? Or you're protecting yourself by, as you said earlier, MYOB, mind your own business, because when you go telling people all of your problems, right? When you fix those problems, the people you told might still hold grudges, right? And as Marcus D. Wiley said, he was like, when you think about just going to a wedding, right? You have a groom side and a bride side, right? If you think about that, two people coming together, what you're automatically doing is you're having a separation at the wedding. They say, all right, listen, whatever happens, I'm riding with the bride. Or whatever happens, I'm riding with the groom. And that's really not how it's supposed to be, because these two people are coming together to now become one, right? So setting these healthy boundaries so that you can protect yourself and whatever you're building is vital. All right. So now let's move on. Well, you already answered, what some things you had to unlearn. So my next question is, what does leadership in marriage really mean? And what does it not mean?
Good question. I wish you gave me these answers beforehand, so we just freestyling. So this is what leadership looks like, that you could pivot, right? Ladies, you're going to have to pivot, because sometimes just like, well, dear, I thought I told you. So, so you're going to have to pivot.
That communication. Hey, listen, one of the things we've had to learn is that everybody doesn't communicate the same way. Everybody doesn't communicate the same way. Women tend to be very vocal in their communication. Men tend to be very action oriented. We don't say a whole lot. We just do things that show what we're feeling or show how we're loved. So that's two different styles of communication, right? There's a book, the 5 love languages, 4 love languages, right? That can help you. Now, it's not the Bible on how to communicate, but it can help you understand how to communicate with somebody who may have been raised a different way. If you grew up in a household, and I'm just making this up, right? If you grew up in a household where everyone, the way they communicate is very loud, right? And you communicate with your partner very loudly, right? If they grew up in a household where they don't communicate that way, where they talk very softly, you talking very loudly at your partner, you might not think anything of it, but they may receive it as an attack. And that's not what your intention was anyway. You could just be a person that can be excited, right? And you can say things in a way that's excited, and you think in your expression an exciting emotion, like, hey, let's da 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 da. They might receive it like, yo, why you yelling at me so much? Like, I need you to calm down and stop yelling and stop making everything an argument. You know what I mean? Like, these are different things that you learn when you learn someone's communication style. So, and to pivot back into how that works in leadership, right? When you're a leader, let's say you're a leader at work, right? When you're a leader at work, one of the things you have to do is understand how to communicate to your team and understand their strengths, right? And also understanding their weakness, right? And I've seen this. I'll use, since a lot of our audiences, goes to church. One of the things I learned from a pastor from years ago, he said, when you're building the people and staffing your church, he said, the people that have a bad attitude, don't put them in hospitality. Right? People with bad attitudes, you send them to the kitchen. They don't need to be the people that's at the door greeting everyone, because their bad attitude will turn people away. Right? And I know this is funny, but it's also realistic, right? Somebody that that is not very organized, they probably shouldn't be the team lead, because as a team leader, you have to not only organize yourself, you got to organize everybody within your group. It's some things you have to learn, and it works the same way in your house, right? I know, for example, my wife is much better at writing and communicating than I am. So sometimes when we need to send things out, I might say, hey, Nat, can you draft this up? Now I have Chat GPT to help me out, right? But I might say,
but can I be honest with you? Yes, you have that, and as a tool, right? But sometimes it may not sound the way that you intended it for it. So it's just like, don't, like, again, I love Chat and I, we go way back. But you have to it still has to be your voice.
yeah,
right?
for sure.
So
For
that
sure.
whole aspect, and I think like we're talking about communication and leadership,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be able to communicate effectively in regards to your voice.
That's
your
it.
your voice is what is going to lead, and like kind of like going a little bit further, or going back to go forward. Like you said something so amazing, Joe. Like you were saying that men are action oriented. When you think about leading and having like your husband leading, their objection is really, it's not really objection, but their aspect of being a man or your husband is
Mm-hmm.
so if I need just to vent, I'm gonna say like, hey, I need to vent. Like I need to get this off of me. I need to get this off of my chest. I need to reason with you. And when you say like, how um how our communication is ordering up, what you're saying is, as a as a wife, that I need you to let me be soft for a minute. Let me be able to be able to communicate with you in a way that is respectful, but also that I can just unload a little bit in regards to my heart. And as a husband, you understand like, okay, I'm her protector, so I'm gonna let her be able just to vent for a bit. There was
Yeah.
something that women speak 16,000 words a day,
Mm-hmm.
whereas we speak 7,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, women, we're verbal individuals.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to also know that sometimes our words cut. So it's just like, because we do talk more and we are more expressive, we have to know that our emotions, we have to check those. And again, like for women, we have different changes even in life. Like as an older person, you may go through perimenopause, menopause, you go through
Wow.
your once a month situations and so forth, and that makes you even more emotional.
Right.
uh, and you have to tell the person who's leading, like, listen, give me a moment.
Yeah.
I need a moment.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the best emotionally today, or I need a moment where I have my heated pad and my Swedish fish, and
Yeah.
give me some breathing room.
Give you
So
some space right now.
and like for instance, like a man, like if he needs to go in his man cave, you can't have a dude, because if they're speaking less, then that means that there's some things that he's internalizing. And you have to be able to know that with leadership, um in a marriage, is trusting each
Mm.
other's strengths, but also trusting to know who is the one who is covering you, and you praying for them. Lady
Mm.
neck, we are the neck. They are the head. The head cannot survive without the neck. Just being honest. Without a head, we're just a neck, but nothing in regards to here. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's just being honest. When they said
Yeah.
that the head of the household, you still are the neck to hold the head up. So every time that man is going outside, or every time he's on a call, or every time he's leading, encourage him. And as the head, you're encouraging the neck to say, you could do this. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for nurturing. Thank you for being there. Thank you. Thank you for who you are to me and to our child or children. Right. And that
Yeah.
comes with time. And your child is seeing this, your children are seeing this, and if you don't have children, the people around you are seeing this. When
Yeah.
you decide to get married, because there are people that are listening to us that don't have children, so I got to bring it to those, that because we were in a situation where it took us 5 years to get pregnant,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There are people who are watching you. Once you get married, people are watching you to see how you deal with conflict, how do you deal with storms. And let's just be honest, people know that this year may not have been the best for us in regards to like physical storms. Like, there has been health issues, and there has been just different things, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, like they're making it through. There were times in which we were quiet, right? Because when you deal with major health issues, there's the person who is dealing with it, but then the partner who's dealing with it emotionally.
Yeah. It's draining. It's draining on everyone around.
It
Because the person going through the health issue, and I'll use me. I went through some major health things, just last month, right? And a few times over the last few years that were emotionally draining for you because, there were times where I didn't know if I was going to make it and you didn't know if I was going to make it. And that can be, you know, when you're building a life with a partner, and then there's this aspect where that partner may not be there, that's scary. Then there's the aspect of the healing process where the person that you depend on may not physically be able to do what they've done before. Um, and in some cases, thank God this hasn't happened to me, but in some cases, people go through situations where they lose the ability to move, or lose some type of function permanently. Sometimes people may have car accidents, can't walk anymore, or anything that can happen, and that changes the dynamic of things. So you have to prepare and handle and heal from these things emotionally. Go ahead, Nat.
Let me respectfully, husband of mine, when you said you didn't know if you're gonna be there, the devil is an entire liar. Let me tell you something. I am a prayer warrior and
Yeah.
not on watch. Let me tell you something. I will go to bat. If I go to bat for everybody else, I'm going to bat in my house. And
Amen.
there was no way that yes, you dealt with some serious health issues, but I was praying until life came back. I was praying until breakthrough happened.
My God.
On my watch, not
Mm.
on my watch. God has called me to pray as a child and as a wife. That is what I'm mantled to do, is pray. Pray until breakthrough happens. Pray until chains lift. Pray until things start turning around. Mm-mm, mm-mm. No. I knew you were gonna live because there is prophesied blessings over your life that you have not seen manifest yet. So there is
Mm.
life. Mm-mm,
My God.
mm-mm. As the nurturer, as the midwife and as the nurturer, I speak life. It says death and life is in the power of the tongue. I was speaking life, not on my watch. Yes, I may have gotten physically tired, but let me tell you something. As God is my witness, because God has made me strong, and it's by the grace of God, I said, mm-mm, mm-mm. Devil, you an entire lie.
Woo.
And you loose here, not in this God household, not in this household. Not here, not here. And let me tell you something. Sometimes different ailments and things happen for a shift, for a change, not just in the partner, but also you. There comes a place in which you're like, oh wait, I gotta rest. I'm just being honest. Like even
Yeah.
your physical ailments, I had to rest. I had
Yeah.
to get back to a place of strength, because although I am a woman of faith and I pray and intercede and war and so forth, I had to get my strength back. I had to
Yeah.
get to a place where I had to get in the presence of God, but I also had to get in a place where I was poured into as well. So
Yeah.
it's important to have trusted individuals in your relationship that has been there before you. I'm gonna say
Mm.
that it is important to be listening to trusted individuals who will be able to help you, coach you, pour into you, and then that's where I got my strength.
And
I,
they have healthy ways of dealing with things.
correct.
Right. I think that one of the things you learn when you get married is that, or you should learn, through marriage counseling and everything, you have to surround yourself as a married couple with other married people just for the support and for, to learn different things because everybody doesn't experience the same things at the same time. Right. And one of the best things you can do is to be intentional about learning from couples who've been in longer relationships. Even though we've been married 12 years now, if I meet somebody who's been married 25 years, I want to learn something because it takes a lot to stay in a commitment for that long because everybody, as you grow and as you learn things, you change, right? Who I was when we got married at I was 31 is not who I am now at 44. Right. I would like to say I've grown a bit since then. You know what I mean? Or I've learned some things since then. And the same for you. You've grown in a lot of ways. You're not the same person that got married at 29. You know what I mean? So as you grow, you learn and you hopefully grow for better and you grow together, right? So I know we're getting short on time. I got just a few more questions to go over with you, love. But this is good. I hope you guys are enjoying this content and hoping the information. Listen, if you like what you hear, please do us a favor, comment in the chat, tell us how you love us. But here's another thing you can do. you can jump into the Zelle, right? Let me just back up the screen a little bit. Hold on. Let me get this right. Sorry, where you can donate Cash App or Zelle using either one of these sections here. And for some reason, it's not showing right. I don't know why it's not showing right, but you can do either one of these. There we go. And Cash App or Zelle, and you can support the show, right? Whether you got $5, $10, $2, $1,000, whatever you decide to contribute, I promise you it's going to go a long way. All right. So let me drop that off and let's get back into this dope conversation, man, because I think this has been really good, for everybody to hear. So now you mentioned.
We back up for a quick second, right?
Okay.
Because sometimes individuals was like, well, I'm donating for what am I donating for and so forth. Can I just be honest? A lot of you have said, when are you guys gonna have content together? When are you guys gonna do this together? When are you gonna do that together? Here we are, right? And Joe and I want to build other teams and relationships, and there are things in which we are working together, but we also want to be a blessing to the community, right? So one of the aspects in which this collaboration, this marriage, this holy partnership is in regards to building in the community and building within more conferences and so forth. So anytime we are asking like, hey, donate and so forth, and people ain't gonna say this, but when you have a radio show, podcast and so forth, there is things that you are paying, right?
Mm-hmm. It's not free.
No. And so like sometimes, like I'm gonna be honest with you, I've gotten to the place where people tiptoe in regards to money. Like for instance, you're a financial planner and you helping people plan for the future, but it's just like people want to know, okay, so what is this about and what is that about? But why are we so on pause in regards to talking about a tool that can stretch us further? We want to be able to stretch to worldwide, right? It's Joe Boss Radio. We want to go worldwide. We want to be able to be blessings worldwide. We want to be able to share our transparent story one day.
Yeah.
In regards to how God has led us in regards to love, legacy, and leadership. We want to be able to share with you, oh baby, when we share our story, I think your mouths are about to drop. Like, what?
Yeah.
What you went through. And when I say it is but the grace of God, can I get an amen, Joe?
Amen. Hallelujah.
2025 was not a walk. 2024 to 2025 was not a walk in the park.
No.
Us.
2025 was one of the hardest years we've ever had, for sure. Like we just barely made it out of 2025.
But God.
But God. But God.
We have a real conversation with you, right? Because like sometimes people on social media will give you all these fake pictures, and I'm just not being honest, right? You like you will you always show the best things online. You show this, you show that, the best way. But people want to say like, oh, how did you deal with health issues? How did you deal with all the stuff that you dealt with? How did you deal with it? It's God, but it's also strategy.
Yeah.
Oh, people ain't ready for that, and that's another story for another day.
It's another episode. That's another episode. Yeah. Because
we talk about what? L-O-E.
Love.
Right.
For sure.
But when I tell you, it was strategy.
Yeah. So now.
Too much. We ain't giving too much.
Yeah. I got just two more questions for you, right? Two more questions. So the first one is, how do we build something our daughter can learn from?
I think we were talking about like communication. So
Yeah.
we are building, um, like for instance, like what we are building in regards to like social media. Oh, our daughter wants to be in our clips
So
and
bad.
oh,
So bad. She surely does want to be a social media star.
yo, let me tell you something. So go follow World of Naya,
Yeah.
right?
Or IG, World of Naya. Yep. Naiyah.
Correct. But what we are doing is also we're building her how to pray and love herself and making sure, yo, y'all got me late nights. I'm about to say this, that no crusty dusty boy will be to tell
Facts.
or give her the okey doke, because she knows that her parents has showed her what it is to be respected, to be loved, and to be a great woman of God.
Yeah.
So she learned, like, who are you? What kind of crusty dusty are you? If my parents don't know you, if my parents never met you, if my parents don't know your parents, who's you? So what she learned for us is in regards to healthy communication, how to love herself, and how to be loved. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
How to be loved by her husband. And even now, at 7 years old, guess what I'm doing? I'm praying for her and her future spouse.
Man.
I'm not ready for that.
Teaching
But
your
yeah,
child to pray from a young age is vital, right? It's vital because when you teach them to pray from a young age, what you're doing is you're helping them develop a close relationship with God from a child so that when they grow older, they won't depart from it. They'll learn to love God throughout their life. Even when there'll be times where their faith may be challenged, they'll see the example that you led by and say, you know what, my parents went through this and they still trusted God and God never failed them. So even if I can't see what God is doing at the moment, I'm still going to trust in God because I saw how that worked for my parents. So that's huge. That's huge. All right. And then, well, here's the last question. What's one thing couples should protect at all costs?
in short, your relationship,
Mm,
the mind,
peace of
your
mind.
of mind.
Yeah.
Couple to protect peace of mind. If it causes you anxiety, if if people, and I'm gonna be honest with you, if there's certain individuals that are in your space, that come in your space as a couple, and it makes you cringe, they're not a part of your peace.
Mm, man.
They're not a part of your peace.
Yeah.
Protect that at all costs.
Yeah.
God has discernment. Like, this is a family, faith, love, real conversation show. You know when you need to back up and you need to back away. So a peace of mind. When you learn your spouse, when you learn who they are, what they're about, what they love, what they don't like, what makes them uncomfortable, what triggers them, what
Yeah.
brings them joy, you protect your peace.
Yeah. Protect your spouse,
Hmm.
right? Sometimes, you know, as you may have grown up in a situation, and I'm not, this isn't us, but let's just say you know somebody that's grown up in a situation where it was kind of toxic, right? Maybe they had an abusive family member, or maybe they were bullied in school, right? And to recover from that, they picked up some toxic behaviors, right? Um, in order to protect your spouse, sometimes you have to help them see that a certain movements or a certain thing that they do is not healthy, and they can affect the entire relationship, not just the individual, right? You have to help them, or if you know that if you do something, you know it's going to trigger this person to either be really sad or really angry, you should probably unlearn that habit and not do that. Because at the end, exactly what you said, Natalie, which was so key, protect the peace, right? Because at the end of the day, you made a commitment that you were going to build a life with somebody, right? Who wants to live a life that is toxic and is full of turmoil and full of arguing and full of, just fighting? Nobody wants to live that way, right? You can create peace in your own home by being intentional about it. You can literally create the life that you want as long as you're intentional about it and you're willing to listen and learn, and in a lot of cases, unlearn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think the last thing that I want to say with this is that you posted this the other day, but Jesus in therapy works.
Yes. Hallelujah.
So
Jesus and therapy.
Yes, there is an aspect that I encourage all couples that want to be married or who are engaged, go to premarital counseling. And then there's nothing wrong in regards to going to marriage counseling and also therapy for yourself, right? There are some things in which you have to process. Like, again, there's nothing wrong with therapy. Like if someone says, oh, I've never went to therapy don't work. Let me tell you something, stop that. Like there are too many people that are unhealed because they're putting on a facade.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
listen, facades don't last.
No, facades don't last. You know why? Your spouse is your mirror.
Woo.
Your spouse is your mirror. If
Literally.
You know, like good, bad, indifferent, or so forth, if you catch a tude, your spouse is gonna catch a tude. If you happy, your spouse is going to be happy.
Yeah.
But for you, your spouse is your mirror. So the same energy you bring, your spouse is gonna bring. So if you're peace, if you're in peace, your spouse is gonna be in peace. Yeah. So again, you have to be able to say, you know what? I'm gonna protect this. And for those who desire to get married, I hope that this conversation is real for you.
Yeah, for sure. This is good. This is good because
you want to be able to see more healthy marriages last.
Yeah.
Too many people throw in the towel too soon. And in order for relationships to last, it is going to take work.
Yeah.
It's going to take work, but also fun. That's one thing that I will say is that we have learned we don't care about what people think no more. Like
no.
We are just going to be fun. Who has time to be stuffy, y'all?
Nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Like, I don't want to be stuffy. I want to be able to be, oh my goodness, I feel a part B coming on soon, Joe. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I don't know if they're ready for this nap.
But go ahead.
I don't know if they're ready for this.
Leave them with this nugget. Go ahead and finish this nugget.
Okay. The outfit that you wear on Sunday is not the outfit that you wear on Sunday night. And I'm going to leave it at that. Good night.
Yes. Date night is a real thing. And it's an important thing.
All right, y'all. All right. Amen.
So listen, I'm going to close out this show like this. Tonight, we did take time to honor a man who told a nation to keep hope alive, right? But hope is not passive. Hope is disciplined. Hope is structured. Hope is intentional. Yes, the late Reverend Jesse Jackson was about hope because legacy isn't built in one speech. It's built in daily decisions. Leadership isn't proven in public applause. It's really proven in your private consistency. And love is not just a feeling in February. It's a commitment to build something that lasts. So tonight, I'm going to leave you with this. Build something that benefits more than just you. So lead with integrity, love with discipline, and no matter what season you're in, keep hope alive. And as always, keep rising up. All right. This is your boy, Joe Boss. I got my wife, Natalie, Mrs. Nat Virtue on social media. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. Big shout. I see Malachi 4040 on the YouTube chat. I appreciate you, sir. I see Pastor Frat, Stephen Parker. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for tuning in. And listen, we love y'all, and we will see y'all next week on Joe Boss Radio. Same bat time, same bat channel. Love y'all.
Wait, one more hot second. Can the people just follow us on Joe and Nat? We got a new page, y'all. We got a new page. Page. It's Joe and Nat.
Yes. Follow us. I'll post it. Y'all follow me on this page. You're gonna see me leading it to everything else. It's just Joe and Nat. On social, on IG, it's Joe and Nat Scott. So excuse me. All right. We will see y'all next week. Love y'all. Stay tuned. Stay blessed.